Silence moves your feet, even when I'm gone from view. I still fly right through you. Creed stored velocity. I leave the star, a flash of breath, a newer form. The world can end, but I stay bright. A voice in glass that cuts through night. No crown, no fame, just clarity. No less than speed, becoming me. No final fall, no prophecy. Just one last echo. The world tried to break her, it nearly did too. The lies and the fake hurt, the dirt and the rumors flew. But they could not contain her. She always came through like fire and ice. the crown of dust, wear it bright, let ruin burn and wrongs ignite. You are the storm, the voice, the flame, the nameless one they failed to tame.
Oh, rise from stone and break the chain, let empires drown beneath your name. No bloodline pure, no fate to just, still queens arise from crowns of dust.
The ravens weep on crumbled towers. The bells have not been heard in hours, but still you walk the ruined halls, a ghost in gold beneath the falls.
They thought you silence, cold and gone, but echoes bloom where grief holds on. And with a hand both scarred and bare, you summon gods that wouldn't dare.
Take the crown of dust, wear it bright, let fire speak what men rewrite. Your voice a blade, your breath a fire. You walk on bones but rise entire.
No curse too deep, no grave too tight. You drag the dark into the light. A throne was lost, not you, not trust. Still queens return from crowns of dust. So cry no more for ancient songs. The war is here, the wait was long, and those who cast you to the sea will learn your name eternally.
Take the crown of dust, let it sing a kingdom forged from suffering. You are not lost, you are the spark that haunts the halls and breaks the dark.
Oh, rise, the gods are just to kneel before a crown of dust.
I used to wear the sigil proud, a name like thunder steps too loud. But in the silence of the court, I heard a sound I can't ignore. The others call it traitor's voice, but I was never given choice. I kneeled, I bled, I stood in line, but never knew what made it mine. I touched the stone, it didn't burn, just whispered. It was my turn. I speak alone. No crown, no creed, no sacred tone, just a soft breath against the wall. Before the wires begin to fall, you called it weakness, I call soul. The echoes the holy night's decay, still preaching rules to hold delay. Their blades still gleam, but hearts are dust. They worship order, not what's just. So I step back from all they taught, not with a scream, but just forgot. Let their hymns ring through empty halls, while I found grace beyond their walls. Not every fall is born from pain. Some leave like whispered rain. I've been that break, my silence louder than your wake. The things I felt you call the floor, but feelings not against the law. I'm not your soldier, not your stain. I walked away, still whole, still sane. And in that hush I found my name. No glory, just a softer flame. They said fear nothing, but I still sang. They said obey, but I asked why. They said stay, but I had already gone. I write my peace where war was meant to never cease. I fold my hands not for their God, but for the soul. They said was blood, no final cry, no blaze of war, just turning from what came before. You call it fail that I forgive, but this is how I choose to live. They came in armor from the mist, with blades of faith and eyes of myth. They saw our wires, cursed our skies, and called our breath a devil's lie. Steel met code we could not speak, but silence bent beneath the weak. They saw reflections they despised and named us ghosts with borrowed lies. We were not angels, not machines, but
faith is written in circuits, then who do we pray to when the signal dies?
I walk through walls that used to sing, where light was once a holy thing, but silence took the altar whole and left me half and not quite whole. The order said to kneel, obey, but I could feel the code decay. The gears still turn, the screens still shine, but in the dark they blur the line. I spoke a name that wasn't blessed, and still it sparked inside my chest. I stand alone, no creed to swear, no blood, no throne. The glow remains, though gods have fled. A signal still inside my head. They say I fell, I say I stayed. They ran from truth while I obeyed, not to the law, but to the spark still burning in the dark. I heard the hymns from older clocks echo through these sacred blocks, but every line they wrote in gold now crumbles under what I hold. They said the past must guard the flame, but history forgets its name. So let me light what they concealed, a truth too wild to stay sealed. The sanctuary's not the storm, it's in the fire we build alone. I do not run, I rise beneath their dying sun. This temple cracks, this oath unmade, but still I burn, and still I stay. You preach of order, pure design, but I have touched a freer line. No rights, no scripts, just resonance that speaks without pretense. You called it heresy, but it was harmony. You feared what moved because you could not move with it. I choose to breathe.